Heating this up over the fire now. Get it nice and hot, and it loosens up all the fibres inside, and you're able to bend it and hold it in place until it cools down, and it should set. This is the same method they use for straightening spears and arrows, so it works. Another person that I've been watching a lot of videos of and having a bit of discussion, and we've commented on each other's videos, is Keith 0 Pence. Lovely bloke, very clever. I found out the other day he used to be a fitter and I used to be an electrician. I said, the fitters are the people that used to tangle up their pipes in our cables when we put cables out. They used to come along behind and knock their pipes around them. I haven't had a bit of banter like that for ages. I stopped being an electrician about 20 odd years ago. See, that's bending. Still quite warm, so hold it a bit till it cools down. I've got a couple of key rings in the ends of the saw, the holes where they mount onto the metal frame, and they'll hold it each end when I make the cuts. Right, so it's going. We've got a nice slow fire on at the moment, so there's not so much flame, but a nice lot of heat in it. I'm kicking myself about forgetting that list, but once you're out here, there's not a lot you can do about things. Hopefully I got the end of one of the scenes I did earlier on. I think the memory card filled up, so I've changed it for a new one. Hopefully I didn't lose anything. I'll have to wait and see. There's no retakes out here either. So you have to be careful you don't burn your knees either. I was worried that maybe there wouldn't be enough sap in the live stakes to actually do this, but this is quite flexible. Actually, I found some green buds as well on some of the branches. I don't know what they were on, but like I say, it's been very mild so far, apart from the little tiny scattering of snow we had the other day, and a lot of the greenery, the brambles, the ferns, and I'm not sure if it's burdock, but there's a few long leaves around here that are still green and still living. So it's very much like spring or autumn really, apart from the fact there's no leaves left on the trees. And the only evergreens I found up here is a couple of yews. There doesn't seem to be any pine. It's all ash, oak, beech, hazel, and I think alder or elder, possibly elder. It's hard to tell at this time of year. And as well, cuckoo, I've seen quite a few pigeons. It's ironic, isn't it? You come tooled up and they will disappear. Might not have time for the stall today. Or the hammer. Still very hot. I'd like to say it's working. We'll see. I'll get back to you in a bit. Alright, I've got the blade in and lashed on. So it's got a ring at each end and then some paracord around the split where the blade goes. Unfortunately, it's got a kink in it now, so I don't think it's going to last long, but as a practice exercise, you know, it works. Well, we'll see if it works now. I'm going to cut a bit of wood over there and look at making it into a mallet. So we'll get back to you in a second. This is a bit of dead stuff. I think somewhere about there would be long enough. Cutting the rack. Well, there we go. Cut through it in no time. You let the saw do all the work. You just put all the pull it backwards and forwards. Let the weight of the saw cut. I know this is a nice sharp blade, but it shouldn't be hard work. And your grip on the saw should really be nice and loose. You hook your fingers around it to pull it and push it with the palm of your hand, and it's easy. Shouldn't be hard work. If it's hard work, you should stop for a tea break. Probably some of you say should be using an axe now or a hatchet to do this. I don't particularly like using hatchets because I worry about my fingers and I've got terrible aim. I always prefer to use a knife. This is a nice heavy knife for doing this with. It's nicely balanced, and I'm a lot happier doing it with a knife than with a hatchet. So I'm going to keep chopping away using the same methods as you use for a hatchet, making a series of chops up and then knocking it off all the way around till I get it down to a nice size to hold. I've sawn around the top, so we've got a hitting part and then a nice long handle for giving it a good swing. Hopefully it won't break. I mean, it's still quite wet inside, so hopefully it's sort of like half seasoned. Still, once again, it's all good practice, and I'm getting practice at doing some proper bushcrafty sort of stuff. I think that's one of the things I'd like to do more of. I think I may have said it in the knife video. It's nice to be able to make stuff for yourself and be self-reliant in that way. I quite like the idea of being self-reliant, and doing something, making something that you could buy in the shops or get someone else to do it for you, but if you do it yourself, you've got that much more of a skill set. I quite like doing that. Nice bit of self-reliance. When I've got a mallet at home, I could brought that up here. I might have to bring a brace and bit up here if I want to make a stool, I've been thinking. But I've got them at home. I can bring them up here for the day. They don't weigh hardly anything. And I might even find one in a second-hand shop sometime, which will do me. I mean, there's plenty of things to do up here. I'm just looking at hurdles, sheep hurdles that on, I think it was Jack Hargreaves' programme. It was on YouTube, and a dying art, you know, like that. It's nice. It's actually rather like what someone's done here on the side of this, the frame of this tinker tent. They've started to weave the hazels in and out of it, and I was wondering whether it could be used to make a lean-to sort of shelter, or possibly even make a more permanent shelter. Don't see why not. There's plenty of hazel up here, and it does it good to be coppiced. And then in the autumn we'll have some nice cob nuts as well. Right, I'm going to carry on chopping for a while, and I've let the fire die down, so I'm just going to be drinking water now. I've got a couple of hours left before I pack up and leave. So once I've done a bit more of this, I'll get back to you. I'll probably get bored with it for now, but in a bit. But it's an ongoing work. I can pick it up again anytime I want. It's not work. This is play. I bought some new bits and pieces as we saw the zebra pot, and I've got these leggings. They're from Aldi, and they were about £4 odd, and I'm pretty sure I got them on the right way because the hooks hook onto your bootlaces at the front, so, and it does up at the front, and there's a tensioner at the bottom, at the back, and across under the foot, a stirrup. And although my trousers are a little bit wet with sweat down the bottom there, I found that they've kept my feet a lot warmer. So it might be that extra little bit of insulation down there has helped keep my feet warmer. I've only got one pair of socks on because these are Jimmy's old boots from years ago when he was in the CCF. He's got massive feet, and these are size 11s. I've got a pair of size 12s which I've got to stretch in, like I've seen Mac Tightwad's video on on boots where he was giving Sandy advice for his walk up the ridgeway, and come the warmer weather I shall give them a soak in and pack them in newspaper like he said, and overnight, and sort of stretch them and then wear them around when I'm at home working and that, to get them to moult in my feet. But it's a bit too cold to be doing that at the moment, so I'll stick with these for now. I've also got a mat I made. I bought from Poundland a tarp which is I think about 6 by 4 and folded it in half, and I put in 2 pieces side by side of the bubble wrap insulation with the silver on it that you get from Homebase and B&Q, and I sewed it all together with a blanket stitch. So I've got a piece of a seat mat about 2 foot by 3 foot odd, just over a metre, and it's nice and comfortable to sit on. All the kit's on it at the moment, it's in the basher, but the reflective properties of the insulation helps to insulate you from the ground, and it's a nice size to carry on the day pack, so I'm quite pleased with that. It's worked nicely. I suppose you could go and put more and more insulation in it and make it more and more of a mat, but it's harder to fold up then. But what else have I got? I have got one of those fold-in shovels, but I haven't got it out today. I was going to do the fire, dig out the fireplace a bit better with that today, but I'll save that for another day. And I've also bought a DAB radio, battery operated one, which I might try in a bit and see what the reception's like up here, because some places around here, because of the valleys and the hills, the reception isn't necessarily the best, but I'm going to try it in a bit. It was only about 17-18 quid from Curry's. There were 2 under £20, and the other one had a radio alarm on it, but it had a big knob that stuck out, and I thought if you're carrying that in a Bergen or a pack, the knob's likely to get broken off, so I chose the cheaper one without the clock option. But it works nice at home, and I'll see what it's like out here, and it'd be a bit of company in overnights if I stay out overnight. Pete and I have been talking about maybe doing one soon. I mean today, if he, unfortunately he's not here, but if we sort of arranged it for today and overnight tonight, I think we would have been well toasty. I've got a piece of polythene. I was going to turn this into a what do they call them, a super tent or whatever it is, where you have the fire going and you have the polythene down and it traps all the heat inside, a super shelter. And you take it in turns to sit outside and keep the fire going and sleep in shifts. And I think, you know, tonight it would have been easy. I know other people have already stayed out overnight and through the winter. I mean, the boys from Scotland, they're going out in the snow and all that sort of stuff. I haven't got the confidence to do that yet. And also, I find that sleeping bags are quite restrictive. I'm a sort of biggish bloke and got a bit of a belly on. I've started a diet and I've dropped a couple of 3 kilos since January the 1st, and that. But it might be just that I don't like being tied in like a maggot. But I find them a bit restrictive. Of course, all the squaddies that are all skinny blokes because they're of what they do. I mean, I used to be skinny as well at one time in the old days, but I found that you can't actually zip 2 of them together for obvious reasons, I suppose, to make a nice big sleeping bag. But I've got a British Army, I think it's a 3-season one or something, it zips up the front, and I've got the Polish bedroll with the blankets inside, and very nice pieces of kit, both of them, but it is difficult to get in and out of them. And if someone would like to do a video on how they get into one in a hammock, probably it's down to my size physically, it's not very easy for me to zip them up because it's so tight, but when I've got my arms inside it really does feel constrictive, and I'm not a big fan of that. But it would be interesting to see how someone else gets in and out of their sleeping bag. Not some little racing snake. I'd like to see a big bloke like me do it. There's a few of them around, so maybe that's a challenge. If someone sees this and thinks that they can meet the challenge, then go ahead and do it. There's no prize involved, it's just to prove to me that I don't know what I'm talking about. So I'll carry on now and see you in a bit. Right, YouTube, that's me all packed up. It's 10 to 4 now, so I've been up here for a while. I've nearly finished the mallet, finished the saw, cooked myself a nice bit of late breakfast, and had a great day. It's not quite as nice being up here on your own. I mean, it's nice and solitary, but it's nice to have a bit of company. And I'm all packed up. Go off home now, have a nice bath, shower, and edit this up sometime and put it up on YouTube. Thanks for watching, thanks for your comments. I do appreciate your subbing, but it's not the end of the world if you don't. And hopefully next time you see me up here, Cuckoo Pete will be back, because it's nice to have the old lad around. See you later.